Okay, the geographical environment also includes a discussion of population, space, land area, habitable land area, arable land area, transportation, topography, all those kinds of things. And I wanted to have a bit of a discussion about Canada, US in a way that maybe some of you haven't heard before. One of the kind of obvious things when you look at this map is you see a lot of green up here and a lot of white down here. The white is supposed to indicate unforested lands. Population of the United States, about 340 million. Population of Canada, 35 million. Now, what's the big difference? Well, first thing is, everywhere you go in America, there's Americans. There's Americans in California, actually about 35 million of them. Americans in Texas, Americans in Florida, all over the place. Let me just drag my little screen here for a few seconds so you can see all up towards New York and then across here to Minnesota and then across to Washington State. Everywhere you go, there's Americans. So the land, and don't forget that America is the fourth largest country in the world by land area. So everywhere you've got land and people can live and job and farm, you've got a big population. The other thing too is people have been coming to America for a long time, since the 1700s. People have been moving to the United States in large numbers from Europe. Canada, although the initial French colonies came in the 16th century and some in the 1700s, didn't really start to grow fast until the mid-1800s, 1850, 1851 with the Irish potato famine and the Scottish clearances. So most people who look like me, meaning people of European background, are actually not English, most all of them Scotch-Irish, came to Canada in the 1850s. So what this means very simply is there have been Americans in America for a longer period of time to be able to have great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, and so on. Whereas in Canada, the first big wave would have come in 1850, may have had 4 or 5, 6 children in a family. The next generation dropped down to 1 or 2, and then the next generation 1 because they're living in urban areas. The other important thing is also topography. One thing you don't really notice easily on Google Maps is this looks green, but it actually should be blue because there are thousands and thousands of little tiny lakes and beaver ponds all throughout this area here. You could travel here if you want to. It's government-owned Crown land, but the problem is there's no roads. The roads in Canada pretty much hug the 49th parallel here, and in Manitoba, of course, we've got Manitoba pool elevators, wheat pool, and farmers and hog farming and so on, but not up in this area because it's for 2 reasons. First, it's too cold. Secondly, the land is not good for farming. And thirdly, the number of days of sunlight per year are a lot smaller than further south because of the way the planet is situated. So, yes, Canada has big farming, but it's pretty much all in this area here, not up in this area. And these parts of Ontario here in Quebec, the only people that are up there is moose, beaver, some wolves, and a whole lot of fish in the stream, and that's about it. So why aren't people not living there? Because there's absolutely no infrastructure whatsoever. You can't even get here unless you take a bush plane in the wintertime that's got skis to land on a frozen lake, or there's one train that goes up here a couple times a week, and that's it. Now moving over to Western Canada, most of the people who live in BC live right here. Okay, here, reason why, topography. Then you've got the Yukon Territories, the Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. The entire population of the Yukon is 31,000 people, of which only 30,000 live in one city, Whitehorse. That means about 1,000 people live in tiny little Aboriginal First Nations villages and small centers throughout the territory. Very, very small population. So that's why Canada doesn't have so many people. And in addition, not only does it have a small population, but almost all of them live down here in the Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa area. There's about 1 million people living in Winnipeg, Calgary, and Edmonton up here, and Vancouver, several million there. But the rest of the country is nobody living there. Okay, so that's that map.